Hey guys, so it's Vlogmas day 17. Vlogmas day 17, I think. Hold on. Yes, it's Vlogmas day 17, and I basically just wanted to talk to you guys about toxic relationships, toxic friendships mainly. And I also wanted to let you guys know about a situation that I actually recently went through with a toxic friend. Let's get into it. Bet she doesn't touch like me. Sure as hell don't fuck like me. Alright, so let me tell you about my experience. So I had this friend and we met in like 7th grade, and from the time we met, like, it was just mad cool, like cool vibes, chill vibes. Like, we was just mad cool. Like, we got so close to the point where, like, so we was cool or whatever. Everything was good. We used to hang out like every day, all day, until we went to high school, and we went to 2 different high schools, and then we would try to meet up like on the weekends. And you know, I would stay the night at her house, she would stay the night at my house, you know, stuff like that. And we was like really cool or whatever. And then as we got older, I feel like in high school we kind of like separated a little bit because we went to different high schools, but we were still mad cool. Like, every time we linked up, it was just like we never left. And then as we got older, like, we would hang out a lot. And then when I turned 21, I got pregnant with my son. And then, you know, things start slowing down for you when you have a kid. So, you know, you're in a relationship, you want to spend more time with your boyfriend instead of your friends and things like that. So honestly, in my opinion, I think that she kind of got jealous because she would bring up things about my son's dad, and, oh, I'm sure if he asked you to do this, you would do it, but I'm asking you to come out, or I'm asking you to do something and you don't want to do it, or you're not in the mood or whatever. So I feel like she was a little jealous or whatever. And then when I had my son, I wasn't really coming out like that. We, you know, celebrated my birthday together in Atlantic City, and, you know, little things like that, like special events. But we wasn't really hanging out every weekend and stuff like that anymore, because now I'm a mom, and, you know, even though I'm a young mom, like, I still have responsibilities and stuff like that. Like, so I never really used to go out like that. I was always just at work, school, and, you know, making sure my kid is good or whatever the case is. So that kind of drove a wedge between our friendship. And then it got real serious one day, to the point where she texted me and was like, oh, either you're gonna come and talk to me or this relationship is over, type shit. So I'm like, what do you mean? Like, oh, you giving me an ultimatum? So you telling me to make time to come and talk to you about the issues that you have with me not hanging out with you as often as I used to, or the friendship is over? So you giving me that ultimatum, that tells me that this was never a real friendship, if that could basically break the friendship. So basically I got upset because of that, and kind of like that was like kind of it. Like, we exchanged words like here and there, whatever, and that was really like it for the friendship. I think I had blocked her, and then like we didn't talk for like a long time after that. Hold on. So yeah, we didn't talk for like years. Maybe, like, I would say we didn't talk for like 5 years. And then I kept seeing her, which was weird. Like, within the 5 years, I saw her at least like 4 times. No, I'm lying. I saw her 3 times. And then the 3rd time that I saw her, I took it as a sign, because every time I saw her, she didn't see me, which was weird. Well, she claimed she didn't see me, but I feel like one of the times she did see me, but she was just ignoring me, or whatever, avoiding me. But so the 3rd time I saw her, I was like, you know what, I was a little intoxicated, I had a little liquid courage, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go and say something to her. Maybe God is sending me a sign saying that I need closure from this situation, or maybe God is saying, give it another shot, you guys were the best of friends. But let me tell y'all something, the devil is a liar, okay? Because let me tell you how he works. God works in mysterious ways, but the devil also works, and sometimes he works overtime. And let me tell you, you can easily be distracted and mistaken for God's work when it is clearly the devil's work. And if you don't know and you're confused and things just come into play and you just you're just living in the moment and you're really not thinking and listening to your heart, and you thinking with your mind, it's kind of like, you could get real caught up and slipped up real quick. So the third time I saw her, I went up to her and I was like, hey, or whatever, and she was just like, like surprised, and we, chatted a little bit. We exchanged numbers, and that was really that. So a few days went by, and I texted her, and we would like text here and there, and basically it was kind of like a relationship where it was like, oh, let me know if you're doing anything tonight, And I was dating, my boyfriend was a part-time DJ at the time, so we was always out on the weekends. And like after my son would go to bed, like we would go out, like he would either be with my mom or his dad, or his grandmother's, because he would go to church with them the next day or whatever. So we would go out often, and I would always tell her like, oh hey girl, we going here tonight, or whatever the case is, just to like feel that old vibe back and just get back on good terms. Like I feel like that was really my main goal, was just to get back on good terms with her and make it feel like the friendship that we once had. And that's where I went wrong, me trying so hard to feel like the friends that we once were, because I started putting everybody else like on the back burner, and even myself. So I'm going really hard for this friendship, and it's just like, so yeah, so we go out a few times, we hung out, it was cool, like we started getting close again, started feeling like comfortable with each other again. Months go by or whatever, then a year go by, we still cool, we talking, texting every day, FaceTiming, like she's around my son now, and like she took him to her house, and she would like pick him up and stuff like that. So it was just like kind of like back to normal, not fully, but definitely like getting there, so I trusted her and everything. So now her birthday is coming up, and she asked me to go with her to another country. And I'm thinking like, oh, it was gonna be a girls trip or whatever. So I'm like, I don't really deal with girls, especially girls that I don't know, because I know she has like a lot of other friends. Mind you, we went to separate high schools. So I'm like, okay, like what girls is gonna be there, what girls is going. And she was just like, oh, it's just me and you. So I'm like, okay. So she's like, oh, I don't really do the girls thing or whatever like that. So I'm like, okay. So I thought it was a little weird, but this is my friend, and it's her birthday, and we gonna turn up, and I'm gonna make sure like her birthday is good or whatever. So Dad was like, yeah, I'm gonna go. Let me see if I can get the time off of work. So she wanted to go for a whole week. So I'm like, damn, that's kind of like, and then I have my son, and I got this, and I got schoolwork. I got to make sure my schoolwork is done beforehand. Like, it was a lot, but I definitely made it happen, and I made it work, because once again, that's just the type of friend that I am. And I'm going to link that video in the description box below, the type of friend that I am, because that is the type of friend that I am. If you're my friend, I'm going to go hard for you. I'm going to rock with you. I'm going to be loyal. Like, that's just the type of friend that I am. So if you haven't seen that video, go watch it to learn a little about me. But I made it happen. So let me tell you the struggle that I went through. So I have a sister that lives in Florida. I live in New York. My sister lives in Florida. So basically what I had to do is, everybody works, everybody has school, everybody got their own life going. So my sister at the time was a stay-at-home mom, and basically I asked her if she could help me out and watch my son for the week. He was off of school, so that's what we did. So basically I flew to Florida to drop him off, and then I flew back the next day. Oh wait, I flew to Florida, dropped him off, rented a car to drive from the airport to her house, because she doesn't live around the corner from the airport, maybe like 30 minutes from the airport. So I rented a car, and then like literally like maybe like 6 to 8 hours later, I had a flight coming back into New York to come back. So I came back, and then the next day I had a brunch. Whose brunch was it? Oh yeah, I had a brunch to go to. My friend had a brunch. Another friend of mine had a brunch. Mind you, she had a brunch too, and she had asked me if she invited me to, but I wasn't gonna go to another country with her and go to her brunch. That's just too much. So one of my other friends also had a birthday brunch, so I went to my other friend's birthday brunch, as I was already going away with her the next day. So Deadass did not get no sleep in Florida, really. Came back to New York, went to my friend's birthday brunch. Left my friend's birthday brunch early to finish packing, to come home, and then to zoom to the airport to go to another country with her. So did all of that. Paid for parking for my car, whatever. Got on a flight. We made the flight. It was cool. It was a long flight, maybe like, I think like 8 hours, 10 hours, something like that. A long layover. And then we finally got there. It was cool or whatever. We had fun. And then, okay, so the relationship that I was in, the type of boyfriend that he was, like, he likes to, like, call me a lot. And a lot of people may mistake that for, like, being controlling. But I feel like if I don't have a problem with it, then why does anyone else care? So, he was calling me a lot. Not even really calling me a lot. He was just calling to make sure I was good. So if we was out, especially partying, drinking, we're two females, we're the only ones there, we're not with nobody else, it's just us two. We're in a whole nother country, a foreign country, and like if we went out to like a hookah spot or to get drinks or to a bar or whatever, he would call me or he would text me, make sure I was good, whatever. And I respect that about a man. So maybe she didn't, but whatever the problem was that she had with it, I didn't have a problem with it, so I feel like she shouldn't have. So one night we was drinking, whatever the case is. I was well aware of what was going on because I wasn't that drunk. I'm pretty sure she was well aware of what was going on because she was drunk, but she was not intoxicated to the point where she was like throwing her brains up and passed out. So we went out, whatever, we had fun, whatever. We came back to the hotel room and I'm on the phone on FaceTime with my then boyfriend and we talking, whatever, just telling him about the night, whatever the case is. She comes into the phone and she's like, oh, where are you going at this time? Where are you going? Because she saw that he was in his car. And he's just looking like mad confused, like, okay, I know she's drunk, so I'm not going to pay her no mind or whatever. So she's still, hello, are you going to answer me? Hello, are you going to answer me? Like, just riled up for no reason. So I'm just looking at her like, okay, you need to chill, whatever, you're drunk, whatever. Try to brush it off. So she hangs up on him. Like, literally just pressed the red button on her iPhone, hangs up on him. So I'm just like, what? Whatever. So did I call him back? No, he called back and we were talking. It wasn't that serious. I was just like, I'm sorry about that. I just was like, she's drunk, whatever the case is. So then I went to sleep. I was a little upset about it, but I just tried to brush it off like, okay, maybe she don't know what she's doing, whatever, like that, whatever. So the next morning I called my boyfriend and I was like, hey, when she wakes up, she has something to tell you. So basically, I was just saying, like, like she's going to apologize to you because you deserve an apology from her because what she did was wrong. So now the next morning comes, and she wakes up, and then it was just like, a regular mellow morning or whatever. And she said to me, well, before I told him that she was going to apologize, she said to me that morning, oh, you think he feel away? And I was like, I don't think he feel away. Like, I don't think it was that serious. Like, you was drunk, whatever. Just try to make her feel comfortable, So then I told him, like, oh, she's going to apologize to you, whatever the case is. Not thinking nothing of it. Like, this is my friend. Like, yeah, even though I told you he ain't feel away. But I feel like that was my mistake by telling her that. Because when I told her that, I also should have told her, I do think you should apologize. And I didn't say that because I was too worried about her feelings and her feeling comfortable and the vibe not being, stared off. So I didn't really say that. So that's where I went wrong. So now I told him that, and then when he called back, I said, hey, I said to my friend, I said, hey, you have something to say to him, right? And she knew exactly what I was talking about, but she gonna go and try to act stupid and say no. And I'm like, so you don't have anything to say to him? I was like, about last night, like she's well aware, like she woke up the next morning knowing what she did, asked about it, well aware of what she did, but she didn't feel like he deserved an apology for whatever reason. So she's like, no, I don't. And I'm like, so you're really not going to apologize? So let me get this straight. You're not going to apologize for hanging up on my boyfriend? And she said, no, straight up. So I'm like, okay, that's mad weird. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to call you back. So we hung up, whatever. So now she's mad. She storms out the hotel room, whatever the case is. The whole day is like mad weird. So she finally came to me and was like, oh, we should talk. And then we spoke about it, and she was just basically upset about the fact that I put her on the spot by saying, oh, don't you have something to say to him? she feels like I should have said, you know, like, you should apologize and I'm gonna call him so you can apologize. Or she feels like I should have asked her to apologize. Why am I asking you to apologize? You're wrong, you're wrong. We're all adults here. So basically, long story short, that incident kind of turned the trip left. And mind you, we were supposed to be there for 6 days. This was day 4 that this happened. So it was kind of like, okay, we have 2 more days here and this is the vibe. So we kind of like just separated. I did my own thing, she did her own thing. She's the type of person that is kind of like, if she say jump, you're supposed to say how high. Not me, not at all, never. So therefore, one day, that night, I was in the lobby and I was talking to my son on FaceTime, and she texted me and was like, can you come up to the room? And I said, 1 second. I said, you gotta hold on, because if I got in the elevator, the phone call was gonna end. So basically, I said, you gotta hold on for a minute. So she goes, forget it. All right, cool, no problem. So I texted her and I said cool. And then maybe like 30 minutes later, I said, are we going out tonight? Or like, you know, what we doing? Like, I try to, you know, make the best out of it, because we are still here together. So we might as well make the best out of it. We can't leave. And this is your birthday trip. So I hit her up. I was like, hey, are we going out tonight? What's going on? Like, are we getting ready soon? And she basically responded by saying like, oh, no, because if you're going to act weird, I don't want to be around you. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I can't force nobody to be around me. So basically that sums up that. I did my own thing. I went out. She did her own thing. She went out, came back. She was being rude. When she came back, I was already in the bed. She was being rude. She had the light on. She was doing a lot, talking to herself, like just doing too much. And it was just like, I already know what's going on from here. And I'm just like, it was just like a really bad experience, to the point where I felt like so uncomfortable. So basically, long story short, she wrote me a long message basically stating that I should leave the hotel room and don't say nothing to her and all this other stuff. Oh, okay. And it was just like, whatever. So when I went to write her back, I was already blocked. And from there, I just attempted to leave, basically. Like, my boyfriend got me on an early flight, and I basically just left. And then we got back and we had little issues, run-ins, her being childish, popping up at certain places. And just this story is a lot more, but this story is just to basically let you guys know that you really got to pay attention to who you call your friends and who you reunite with. There's a reason why that friendship did not work out to begin with, and for you to feel the need to rekindle it after however long, it's not always in the best for you. Sometimes things are just better left alone and unsaid, and that's just that. Everything happens for a reason. So to go back on something that had ended years ago because you feel like you needed closure, or you felt like, oh, maybe this is God, a lot of the times it's not. Like, because God's work could definitely be mistaken for the devil, like, honestly. And I feel like that was the devil working overtime trying to get us to reconnect, because she didn't do anything but waste my time, waste my money, waste my energy, stress me out. And then even when I got back, that same day that I got back, I had to, mind you, I had to go and fly again to go and pick up my son, to fly back to bring him back home. So imagine how much money I wasted on this friendship, you know? So make sure y'all watch who y'all call y'all friends. Make sure y'all, like, really think and really, like, pray about it before you make decisions and allow people and their energy and their negative, toxic energy and toxic ways back into your life. That's my story time, and it's Vlogmas Day 17. I will see y'all on Vlogmas Day 18. Later.